Hello, in day 9 we are going to learn the commands, that is analysis of G plus 10 story. Already we had done in the last session, and then how to apply the dead load over the building, and then along with that wall load, live load, and then load combination or factor of safety. So we already know that how to apply the dead load. Software itself find out the dead load. No need to calculate it manually. But when come to the wall load, we have to calculate it manually. Let's learn how to calculate the wall load. Before that, let's have a look how the load distribution happens. So this is diagram describe the load distribution. Whatever the load coming over the slab, either it may be a surface load, linear load, point load, that all transfer to the beam. The next wall and then slab load combines and then transfer to the beam. Whatever the load coming over the beam, that transfer to the column, and then this column, whatever the load coming over it, that transfer to the footing, and then footing transfer to the ground. So this is the load distribution diagram. While creating the geometry in the stud bureau, normally we don't create any wall geometry. It doesn't mean that we have to neglect the wall load. We have to apply the wall load. Let's have a look how to calculate the wall load. So this is the wall load calculation. In wall, normally we have main wall, partition wall, and then parapet wall. Depending on the walls what we have in the plan, I just tell you one how to calculate. Main wall load is equal to wall load plus plaster load. Wall load is nothing but volume into density, that is volume is equal to wall thickness, wall height and to wall length. Per meter we are going to calculate it and then we apply it over the geometry. The next density of the brick, what type of brick you are going to use? Is it red brick or cement blocks, like that? 0.23 is your thickness of the wall. It may change according to your plan. Next, wall height is 3 meter. Sometime we go with the 3 meter, or else whatever the beam depth is there, that you have to minus out of 3 meter. Then next, per meter we are going to calculate it. That's why the length, wall length is 1 meter. And into 19 or 20 or 21 is the density of the concrete. It depends what type of brick we are going to use for the construction. So once you calculate all this, you will get the value is 13.11. Here I consider 19 as the density. The next outer plaster is also same, plaster thickness, wall height, and then per meter, and then density of the plaster. So that is 16 mm is nothing but 0.016 meter into the height of the wall is 3 meter. You can minus it the depth of the beam. And the next 20 or 21 is the density of the plaster, what ratio we are going to use. The next, the answer you will get is 0.96. Same like that way, just only thickness matters in the inner plaster load. Then the value is 0.72. Now the total wall load is equal to 13.11 plus 0.96 plus 0.72. Total you will get 14.79 is your wall load. That is main wall load. In the same way we have to calculate for the partition wall and then parapet wall. Let's work out all these things with the stat. Here you can see I am ready with G plus 10 building. In the day 8 we already done with this. So just go through that. So once I done with the building, and then even I apply the dead load, that is self weight. Along with the dead load, now I want to apply the wall load. So you can check in the 3D rendered view that we don't have any wall. As I already explained, if we don't have the wall means it doesn't mean that we have to avoid the wall load. We have to consider that wall load. The wall load is transferred to the beams. That's why I am going to apply the wall load. Wall load is coming under the dead load because it is not movable. It is constant. And then wall load is coming under the uniform load because wall is uniform throughout the span. Under the dead load category itself, I want to add one more uniform, that is member load, because over the beam I am going to apply it means we have to select the member load, and then uniform force we calculated it, that is minus 14.75, or you just have a look, 14.79, and then no need to give any D1, D2, D3, and then add it, yes, and close. This is the main wall load. Wherever you have the main wall load, that you have to select. For that you just go to the top view and then you can select the main wall like this. I am just assuming. So these are all the main wall loads. Going with the front, and then select the beams parallel to X and then Y, or else you go to the select beams parallel to X, select beams parallel to Z. These are the beams, but except this top one, because in the top we have the terrace, means we have to apply the parapet wall load. I want to deselect it. So if you want to deselect, again I am just going with the front view, and then just hold the control button and then again click over that unwanted members, so that this is how you can deselect the unwanted part. Confirm it in 3D. Again I just go with the other views and then I deselect by pressing control. Come to the 3D and then just have a look. For these beams I want to apply the wall load. Make sure you click on this uniform wall load and then assign to selected beams, assign yes. So this is the main wall. In the same way I just want to apply the parapet wall load over the terrace. Under the dead load category, add member load, uniform force. You just change the wall height according to the calculation. We may get 3.75 or 4 around. Then add it and close. This is the parapet wall load. With the help of beam cursor, select the top beams like this. Make sure in the 3D that you selected only the beams parallel to X and Z, and then click over the assign to selected beam and then click on assign. So like this way you apply the wall load. Once I done with the wall load, now I am going to apply the live load. Before going to apply the live load, we have to go through the IS code, in which we get to know how much live load we are going to apply. So because it depends on the each room, live load we can call it as imposed load also, or movable load, and it is changeable. According to the IS 875 part 2 1987, which describe the code of practice for the design loads, okay, other than earthquake, for buildings and structures part 2 imposed load we are going to refer. So just to scroll down, let's understand. Live load is nothing but imposed load. I am just scrolling down. Just check in the content about the imposed load. Just go to the page number 13. So this is the imposed floor loads for different occupancies. So imposed or live load normally apply over the slab or floor, you can say, and then it depends whether we are going to design the residential building or commercial building or important building like airport and hospital. So you can have a look here. Residential building, all the rooms and kitchen, normally we take 2 kilonewton. Concentrated load, then it is 1.8, and then in balconies it is 3, and then kitchen and laundries it is 3, 2, 2.5. It just around varies 3 to 2. The next garage is 2.5. You just have a look here. Then next, so what I am going to do is, either you can apply according to the room. For each room, we just refer this and apply. I take it normally, that is around, if it is residential building, I take 2 to 3 kilonewton. If it is commercial, then you can go ahead with the 5 kilonewton. So I am applying the same thing in the start now. So once you done with the dead load, self weight, and then wall load, parapet wall load. So I am clicking on the load case details because I want to change the category. We have to change the loading type. add live. Earlier it was dead, then change it into live load. You can say LL, add and close. Click over the live load and add it. So as I explained you, live load will apply over the floor or slab. So for that you just click on the floor load. Actually in the geometry we don't have any slab or floor. You can just create the slab or floor and then you can add it. Now I just tell you how to add it. So the pressure I am taking it is minus 3 kilonewton. I am just assuming this building is a residential. And then before that we have to give the minimum and then maximum value. For that what I do is take the node cursor. Minimum is nothing but from what is your minimum range of the building, that is starting point of your minimum. The next maximum is nothing but where your building end, that is opposite to the this one. Taking the node cursor and double click where the building actually start. It start from the origin, that's why I am just double clicking it. X value is 0, Y value is 3 and Z is 3. These are the minimum values. I am putting the same thing. X is 0, minimum value Z is 0 and then minimum Y is 3. To get the maximum points, same with the node cursor, I am just double clicking the opposite corner of the topmost floor. So this is X12, Z12 and Y30. 30 is nothing but the total building height. The Z maximum, X maximum, I am putting 12 and Y it is 30. So here we have one-way distribution and two-way distribution. So that I will describe you in the next session how we have to decide this. Add and close. This is how you can apply the live load over the floor or slab. So once I done with the live load and then dead load, we have to do the combination to get the factor of safety. So just go with the factor of safety or load combination. For that I am clicking over the load case detail again and then add. So here we have the load generation, just below that define combination we have. And then either you go with the auto load combination. If you don't know exact factor, then you can go ahead with the IS code, that is Indian code, and then you can click over the generate load. Software will generate the combination of the load, whatever the possibilities are there according to that particular code, that is 1.5 factor, 1.2 and then 0.9. But if you don't go ahead with this, I just add this to the discarded. Then you click on the define combination. We have to go with the define combination when exactly we know the combination. And then dead load, live load, we applied it. Add that category. And we know that according to the combination code is 1.5. That is the factor of safety. Add it and close it. So this is 1.5 into load 1 is nothing but your dead load. 1.5 into load is 2 is nothing but live load. So once you done the combination, then again you click on the analysis, all, add, close, or else click on the command analysis, perform analysis, all, OK, analyze, run analyze and then save it. Make sure you have the 0. In order to get the theoretical result, then you click on the view output file, check the total dead weight of the building. In order to get the graphical result, then you click on the go to post processing mode, click over the done option. I want to check out the result for both the dead load, live load and then combination. Select all the category and then apply and OK. So if you want to check out only for the dead load, then here we have the category active load. Click only the dead load and then check the animation and all the stuff. So there is a deflection here, means we have to increase the cross section. Live load, again animation and deflection. And then for the combination, animation and then deflection. So still we are getting the deflection. Then you just increase the cross section, Even we have the design process. After design also you just confirm the deflection. Still if you are getting the deflection means we have to increase the cross section along with the bar size and then concrete grade. So this is how we can do the analysis of G+10 by applying the dead load, live load and then combination. In the next video we learn the other command. Thank you.